Hi guys, Aaron Dade here on the fourth step of listening, and this is the response step. And I know everybody's rolling their eyes and saying, "Oh, finally we get to talk." um, at the end of the day, though, the word says very, very clearly that we should be slow to speak. That you should listen, and really to go over the four steps again. This being the final step. God, when He walked me through this helped my marriage because I was very quick to anchor. I wanted to be the first one to prove my point. And a lot of times, to be honest with myself, if I was completely honest with myself, I was wrong because I was trying to prove my point so much that I wasn't listening to anyone else. So the beginning of this is to listen, and when God really walked me through this, it was listening is like serving. So you're a servant when you're listening. It's different than when you're talking. You're saying what you have to say, but for the most part, when you're listening, you're a servant. You're serving. So He said Jesus always listened. Whether it was people that He wanted to hear speak or didn't want to hear speak, He did always listen. That receive stage, and Jesus especially actively listened. He listened to what your heart was saying, not just what your mouth was saying. He listened to exactly what your heart was saying. The receive stage, where He could walk 5 miles in somebody else's shoes, is really when you listen to, or whether you listen to the word or you hear the word, or how you hear the word. It's whether you're reading it or you're hearing it, is really when He was healing people, was His receiving. Where He could really receive how that person was feeling, whether it be the leprosy or healing the blind, or when He fed the people, the bread and the fish loaves. He could feel what they were feeling. Even when He was on the boat and His disciples were looking at Him, what are you afraid of? That's being able to receive. That's being able to understand other people's positions and not make it about you. I remember specifically multiple times where I would have ruined my restoration situation. Literally ruined my restoration situation if I did not heed the second step, emotionally validate. Especially for a woman, this is extremely important. Men, if you're paying attention, a woman needs you to emotionally validate her, because her emotions can guide her sometimes the wrong way, and you have to know how she's feeling. Otherwise, you could be on board or completely against something. So that receive stage for me, when God walked me through it, He was just showing me like how Jesus could feel how those people were feeling, needing that healing. And then the planning stage, when God was walking me through this, He talked about in Proverbs where a wise man plans his steps, fools rush in. Proverbs talks about this a lot, where, wise men a lot of times will plan what they're going to do before they do it. They will plan and prepare themselves mentally for what they're going to do before they do it. They don't wait till they're right in the middle of it and are about to make a decision to make that decision. That decision has come long before. They have planned for this long before and worked on this and practiced it long before, over and over and over and over and over again. So for me, God was really walking me through the ability to plan and take my time. That when I was listening, I needed to plant that seed of long suffering within myself. I needed to take my time and really feel and hear what was coming from my spouse's mouth, or my friends, or my family, or my kids. I needed to take the time, because a lot of times my decisions would be different based on my plan. Otherwise, if I didn't plan, I just would make whatever decision popped up in my head. But the planning stage really helped me not to rush in and to make wise decisions, to calculate what I was going to do before I just did it, so I didn't end up surprising myself. Now, the respond stage is interesting because the first part of it that God walked me through is when someone is talking, let them finish, and then you start responding, you implementing your plan 2 seconds after they're done talking. And at first I was like, God, I've listened. I felt how they felt. I planned this already out. Why do I have to wait 2 seconds? Because he explained to me most of the time, most conversations end up going the wrong direction because we're interrupting each other constantly. If you wait a full 2 seconds, that person's done talking. But if you wait one and then you don't even wait the 2 seconds, they're probably going to continue saying something else afterwards. You want them to get out the full statement, and this gives you more time to plan and receive and make sure that you're making the right decision and saying the right thing, implementing the correct plan. If you don't do these things, if you just jump right into responding, it's not going to work out well. So this was wait the first 2 seconds. And then after you wait the 2 seconds, then you respond by making yourself adamant about your plan and productive in your planning. Not necessarily just, oh yeah, I've waited my 2 seconds. Now I want to jump different stages of what I've already planned to plant. You want to make sure that you're planning the right things and you're implementing your plan the right way. So, in other words, make yourself very, very excited for implementing this plan. Don't go, oh, finally I get to talk and oh my gosh, this stinks so bad. No, you want to be excited for what you're about to say and how you're about to say it. And you want to go after this the correct way, like it matters to you. Because this is your relationship with your marriage, whether it be especially your marriage, is the most important relationship outside of God that you're ever going to have on this planet. So if that's not working, a lot of your other relationships are not going to be working either. So when I am listening to my wife and the things that she wants to do, a lot of times I may not want to listen to her. However, it's extremely important that I listen, I understand how she's feeling, and I plan what I'm going to say before I say it. That I make sure that I take the time. I can't explain how much serving comes into listening. We want to make sure that we are listening and we have that servant's mentality. We're willing to serve the people that are talking. And then after that, the implementation of that third step when you have the plan, and then the fourth step, when you implement that is just making sure that you're planning your steps, that you're not just deciding to just jump in there. Those 2 seconds are vitally important because more times than not, I've experienced in my own life that people do not like awkward silences. So if you sit there for 2 more seconds, they're probably going to keep talking. So you let them keep talking because that's fresh data that you can say, okay, so this is how you were feeling. This is what you were thinking. So this is how I get to respond. But if I respond in between that 2 seconds, then now I've cut them off and they're just looking at me, waiting on me to say whatever I need to say next. I've cut them off, and really, to be honest, now I've not emotionally validated them. We have to start all the way over. So it's less work for you if you just do the whole 4 steps the right way the first time. So this is the 4 steps listening, guys, and I thank you, and I praise God for giving this to me to share with you, and I thank you so very much, and have a blessed day.